Next, cast your mind back to the last time you saw a pregnant woman on the tube or train who needed a seat. What did you do? If your reaction was anything like this, probably not much. At 38 weeks pregnant, Miry Mikhali filmed the reaction she was getting. You can see it as she sat on the, stood on the tube now. It essentially involved her being ignored. She recorded the reaction of passengers on London Underground after continually being denied a seat. And Miry joins me now in the studio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
But the fact that you've recorded this has clearly angered and annoyed you, hasn't it?
Definitely. For the past 9 months, I've been commuting in the London Tube, wearing the baby on board badge. And I was really thinking at first that it's a great, brilliant London invention. That's how people can know I'm really pregnant and haven't just gained some weight, and would give me the seat, the priority seat. But that didn't happen. And it made me really sad.
Yeah, because I guess once you're wearing that badge, you assume that certain things will happen. I mean, it was interesting. I was talking about this online today, and someone made the very salient point that the tube tends to be quite packed, so perhaps you can't always see that there's someone pregnant on the tube. Would you agree that that situation can happen?
Well, of course it can happen, but I can tell you from the video that you've seen, I always approach the priority seat first. There's no way they can't see me. They see the bump, they see the baby on board badge, and they just, they try to avoid the eye contact. They take the newspaper and hold it a little bit higher up, or they just look at the screen. And I feel that is just so shameful. Just a few weeks ago, an older woman wanted to give her priority seat for me, and I felt so bad.
Yeah. I mean, would you, obviously you spoke about having that baby on board badge, would you say that that's a failure of the badge scheme, that people are, because it's around so much now, people are just ignoring it, whereas before, when it was first introduced, people very much took notice of it?
I think it's a failure of just basic human kindness, not of the badge. I think you don't really need the badge. If you see a person that needs the seat more than you, and you sit in a priority seat, I think it's your responsibility to look up and see if someone else needs it.
It's interesting that you talk about responsibility, because something that comes up time and time again when we discuss this is people sort of say, if a woman chooses to get pregnant, then it's their choice and they ought to be able to deal with standing on the tube. Why should someone else give up their seat for them? I mean, what would you say in response to that?
I got that a lot, unfortunately. Well, you know what? It's just, I think, very basic human kindness again, and maybe ignorance or lack of education. Pregnant women, right, they chose to have a baby. That is great. Why don't we help them? Why don't we give our seat if they need it? Not only it's really hard to stand in long commutes, it might be dangerous if the train stops suddenly.
Is it quite scary, though, finally, when you're so heavily pregnant and you can't sit down? Is it quite scary for you and for your baby, obviously?
Yes, your balance is completely off. The bump is big, and it's really hard. Not only you feel scared for yourself, you feel scared for your baby.
OK, well, Miry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
The ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Here's Mary Nightingale.
It's the start of a crucial week for Britain